Jim, I understand that this student had been expelled from this particular college. Tell us the latest, please.
Yeah, it's really sounded pretty horrific what happened. According to the Oakland police, the student identified as 1L Go. He'd been a student there, and several weeks ago was expelled. They didn't say exactly why. And he also complained to the police when he was being questioned that he was being teased by some students because of his poor English. He's a South Korean national. He's been here, several years. His father doesn't speak English. It's a mixed, there's a lot of students from different countries, but he complained that he was being teased for his English, and so according to the police, he went off.
Jim, as news of this sinks in the San Francisco community, how is that area reacting to it? How are the Asians reacting to it? We're talking about a progressive part of the country. Are there calls for gun control? How is this shaping up on the streets of San Francisco?
Well, in San Francisco, the Bay Area, it is a very tolerant, progressive place, but there's a major crime problem. Oakland is it's one of the most crime-ridden cities in the country, and this is just one more, tragedy on top of tragedies. The Oakland police mayor, Gene Kwan, Monday night at a press conference was saying we need to look at the issue of the availability of guns. We've had shootings before. There was a multiple shooting at the 101 California Tower several years ago that resulted in an assault weapons ban that expired, but it's likely to have an impact.
And so you said they're investigating this, what we know about him being teased. It's interesting, he was 43 years old. Were a lot of the students at the college older? Was it more of a graduate program, or were these young, college-age kids that they think were doing the teasing?
It seemed to be kind of a vocational college. The ages are range from 21 to 40. I spoke to the brother of a woman who works there. She was 24. She died tragically. She was a secretary. So it's, I believe, they have jobs and work there. They taught nursing, acupuncture, theology, that kind of thing. Very small. It's only 100 students at this school.
And when we talk about this school expelling him, have we heard any criticism about the way the school has handled this, or about the way authorities handle this? Is the blame game going on out there at this point?
Well, I think certainly they're looking at, the school right now isn't really saying a lot, but as has happened with so many of these campus shootings around the country, they're likely to be looking at the procedures. What do we do if when someone's expelled? Do we need to put a metal detector at the front door? This is a small building, though. The whole school really is in one building. And as it was described to me, you can walk in, there's the secretary, and the classroom is around the corner. So, I think they do need to look at what kind of security procedures can be taken, but, it's not certain how far they could go.
And Jim, I know we're still learning a lot of information about the shooter and what happened, but I understand from your story that he had possible problems with some creditors. What do we know about that and what that may have played, what role that may have played in this?
Right, exactly. The public records show that he did have financial problems. He had liens and judgments totaling almost $50,000 over the last 6 years, and a lot of them from the IRS. It doesn't say, we haven't found out yet exactly what those problems were for or why the IRS was after him. But the IRS alone, he'd owed over $37,000. So he clearly was under financial stress. He'd been evicted from at least one apartment. His father lives in a retirement community in Oakland. He would visit his father almost every day, and his father is reported to be devastated by this. The father doesn't speak any English, and he's described as an excellent tenant, fine, upstanding person. His son showed no problems there either.
So other than the financial problems, other than some of the issues he's had with the school and the bullying and this kind of thing, is there any indication, did anybody ever put pen to paper and say, here's a guy, from what we know now, here's a guy who could potentially be violent and be a threat to people?
You know what, at this point it's still early in the investigation, so there may be clues in his past. He did have a hunting and fishing permit, and he lived in Virginia at one point. So we've learned that he did have a hunting and fishing permit between 2004 and 2006. But that could just show that he's interested in hunting. A lot of people are interested in hunting, but that would show he was adept at firearms. But we really don't know. It's like, they describe him as a nice man. You never know in these kind of things. So, right now, no, there's no outward signs of that he'd do this. No.